What's going on, you guys? This is New York Adventurer 1994 here, and today is Wednesday, September 13th, 2023. And we have Tropical Storm Lee expected to impact New England and Atlantic Canada this weekend. And we now have Tropical Storm and Hurricane watches on eastern New England and pretty soon Atlantic Canada. There was a hurricane watch now issued for Maine, and we now have a tropical storm warning for Bermuda. It's also expected to impact Bermuda tomorrow, and they could be looking at tropical storm force or hurricane force winds tomorrow. I don't think it's just going to be tropical storm force. I think it's also going to be hurricane force on Bermuda. This thing is expected to weaken back down to a Cat 2 hurricane by tomorrow. And then weaken back down to a Cat 1 by the time it reaches New England. I really think hurricane warnings are coming soon for New England and tropical storm warnings because of Lee. Yeah, so we could be looking at hurricane force winds and tropical storm force winds. There's going to be a lot of storm surge. There's going to be a lot of heavy rain coming with it. And there's going to be a lot of beach erosion and rough surf, rip currents. It's going to be a disaster for the Northeast. And there will be a lot of power outages too. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of rip currents coming this weekend. And they're already starting to have rip currents along the East Coast. So yeah. So the impacts are expected by this weekend, and this thing is expected to weaken down to an extratropical system. But the problem is that the wind field could expand if it becomes an extratropical. So this thing is definitely not moving out to sea. That's out of the question. It's expected to make landfall somewhere in the Northeast. There's a high pressure block over there that's coming. So Lee's gonna have to make landfall in eastern New England or Atlantic Canada. It's kind of too late for it to move out to sea because of that high pressure block. So this is a very serious situation right here. And with this thing becoming extratropical in the Gulf of Maine, that means the wind field could expand. So we could be seeing a lot of wind in miles away from the system. So this is a very serious situation. I'm trying to get this video out here before it rains a little bit, probably. So yeah, if you guys live in New York or New England or Atlantic Canada or Bermuda, you need to be on high alert for rain, wind, flooding, rip currents, beach erosion, all that stuff. Because it's really going to get hairy this weekend, especially on the east side of New England. And I really think eastern Long Island could see some impacts too. The winds could be a little stronger by where Montauk is. So yeah, we're not getting something too serious on Saturday, but we could see some breeze from the storm, and we are expecting a lot of rip currents, but I think the flooding is going to be much worse than what we saw in Franklin over by Jones Beach. It's really going to flood over there. Because Franklin was very far away from Long Island when it flooded Jones Beach with the rip currents and rough surf and all that stuff. But since Lee is a closer hurricane, it's expected to go into the Gulf of Maine, which is not too far from Long Island, we could see much more flooding by the beaches in coastal areas. So yeah, we have Hurricane Lee coming, and we're expecting rain, wind, coastal flooding, beach erosion, rip currents, all that stuff. This is why we have tropical storm watches and hurricane watches in place, because we're expecting hurricane force winds and tropical storm force winds in eastern New England and Atlantic Canada. And the tropical storm conditions are expected tomorrow in Bermuda. But New England has already been put to the test with the high winds because we have had countless nor'easters for many years. I think they're pretty much used to the winds. I don't think they're that concerned about the hurricane since they've been through nor'easters, but a hurricane's no laughing matter still. I really think they've been put to the test with all these nor'easters that have happened because nor'easters tend to have hurricane force winds in them. So I think they'll be okay because they've been through nor'easters before. Like, especially along the outer Cape, they've seen hurricane force winds before. And Bermuda looks pretty much prepared for hurricanes too because a lot of hurricanes have passed Bermuda throughout the years when they go out to sea and all that stuff. But the Cape has definitely experienced hurricane force winds with the nor'easters, so they're pretty much used to it. They've pretty much been put to the test, and they're obviously more prepared than we are. That's one good note, but still, get prepared for power outages, rain, wind, and all that other stuff. So I guess that's it. Bye.